Tell you what, after 5 shows, 2.5 weeks of training camp, JB, are you ready for some real football?
Hold on, I gotta hit this. This is and no, it's not the smelling salts. This is crushed red pepper from the newsroom. And us New Yorkers, you should ask Tiki about it. We do the crushed red pepper. We don't do the smelling salts, Rondé.
From the Stream Center, this is the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen. Here's your host, JB Buno, and Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
Welcome to show number 6 of the Rondé Barber Show. This is getting to be very fun. And guess what, JB? We are like 2-3 weeks away from doing this every week. So if you're a Bucs fan, I know you are, and you want to hear about some league-wide stories, tune into this show.
Man, weekly episodes coming up when the season starts. Man, I know you got some guests in your back pocket.
I do.
I know you're going to be going through the Rolodex. Kids, look up what a Rolodex is.
Right. I got a great guest this week. He's a partner of mine. He's a great friend. Emmy-award winning play-by-play announcer. He covers the NFL, NASCAR, and Major League Baseball. And more importantly, he calls WFLA Bucs preseason games with me since 2013. We were joking, actually, JB, the other day about this being our 13th year, 12 if you don't include the COVID year. And I said, Chris, it feels like it's been 50 years. Has it been 50 years since you've been covering sports, Chris?
Working with me, I think it wears on people a little bit, even from our days doing, Fox broadcasts as well. Good to be on with you and JB. And great work on another preseason. And yeah, for me, after a decade at ESPN, it's 20 years at Fox, and getting to do field reporting and Super Bowls and play-by-play has been a lot of fun. But the Buccaneers gave me the first opportunity to do TV play-by-play.
JB, this is a great story. Listen to this story.
Yeah,
this is a great story.
Just a friend of a friend said, "Hey, we need somebody to." And I think it was maybe after Chris Collinsworth was an analyst, and Ron Jaworski was the analyst for Bucs TV. So just through a Florida connection, I'll cut through it. But they just said, "Hey, Chris, could you do it?" I said, "Well, I've done some radio, and I've done, and I'm working at ESPN and Fox, but yeah, I'd love to, I'll give it a shot." And did it with Jaworski at here to whatever. It was the year after the Bucs won the Super Bowl, Rondy, with you and John Gruden and that group. So it's been that long, and it's been a lot of fun. There have been a couple of other different people before you. John Lynch, of course, did it and went on to become a great broadcaster and GM, and now you Hall of Fame career, obviously, as a player and into broadcasting as well, and other things that you do so well. So the broadcast partners for the Bucs, it was hard. At first we couldn't find the right kind of ex-Buccaneer to be the analyst, and I just kept kept hoping, and it clicked. And I'm glad you're staying a while. But because of that, I'll always have a sense. I'm from Florida too, even though I grew up in South Florida, around the Dolphins, and went to high school with Don Shula's son. The Buccaneers are special to me for professionally too, for that reason. So I kind of feel a little bit of I'm always going to be part of the Bucs family, and through the years, whether the coaches or players have changed, the management has been very supportive. So I'll always be grateful for that.
Well, you just said the only thing I got out of that was most important. I'm your favorite analyst that you ever worked with.
Yeah. Also, if we look here at these photos, Chris, it's mind blowing to me. Honestly, I'm not just saying this. Do you age? Because I'm looking at you here with Brady with a Patriots jersey on, and man, it's a pretty wild side by side here on screen.
Yeah, that was the greatest comeback ever, right? Against Atlanta, working that sideline, and at halftime, of course, Bill Belichick was as friendly as he always is when you get to talk to people. But rushing to Brady after they came back to beat the Atlanta Falcons. That's the BCS championship. Urban Meyer. Right, that was Urban Meyer coaching Tim Tebow. So no, I joke. I say, they have cryogenics. I was hoping they would freeze my looks. They froze my career instead. So I'm kind of stuck with Rondé right here.
I love it. That's a good thing.
But anyway, no, it's funny how the media business has evolved too over time. But because I like it, and was a fan as a kid, I love it actually. Whether it was radio, TV, now podcast, I just I have a passion for it. It never gets old for me. My corny slogan is every night's the Super Bowl, because that's how I try to treat every broadcast, because it's that important to the people watching and the people in it. and that way you stay fresh. You never mail it in.
That's exactly right. Not only is Chris JB a great broadcaster, and by the way, a closet stand-up comedian. If you haven't figured that out, he's an author. Last November, he released a book. If you haven't written it, or if you haven't read it, you should go get it. It's called That Deserves a Wow. And you know why I have his book? Because Chris is narcissistic enough to give it to me.
I think there's a picture of you in there. Yeah, you didn't pay for this one, Rondé, but you guys are used to all those freebies. So
I appreciate the freebie.
But yeah, and it is available on the audiobook. And I won't bore you with book detail. But if you're a sports fan, but it's really more, and I think Rondé, you can relate. It's more about life and following your passion. Having a dream. You had a dream to play. I had a dream as a kid to be a broadcaster. But I played a little bit of sports, but I wasn't very good at it. And how the path that it takes you on. And there's some ups and downs and things that you cover from, the growth at ESPN in their years and winning an Emmy there and doing Sports Center with people like, Tirico and Linda Cohn, Chris Burmas. It was really cool. And then later coming to Fox as they added after football, NASCAR, which I've enjoyed auto racing and doing more baseball and working with people like, whether it's Alex Rodriguez or Derek Jeter, Eric Karros or Dontrell Willis or different people like that in the booth through the years. So anyway, but it's I hope people are inspired by it. I mean, there's some tough moments in there, but there are in life and you deal with them and you move forward. So hopefully after you read it, you'll be touched and moved, but mostly inspired.
Absolutely. I'm going to gift it right to JB so he can work on his budding broadcast career.
Let's go. I'll read it. Let's go.
Are we going to blame JB if it doesn't go well running? We have somebody else to blame instead of me.
You know what? It's never, you know what? When I was playing, Chris, I always said I never, ever got beat. Any ball that went over the top of the defense that I was near, it was somebody else's fault. So, and it was like a coping mechanism, I guess. But yeah, it's never my fault.
As long as that way you don't lose confidence in yourself, because that's the one thing you have to hang on to. That was it, JB. That was your one cameo, I guess, in this conversation. I'm sorry.
I'm just here to it. I feel like I'm in the booth. That's all I want to say. I'm honored. I'm honored to be
and
here.
Ronda, can I tell people that when we do the broadcast for the Bucs, so that they have cards for commercial reads and notes going to break, but they also said we better have an apology card just in case.
We are waiting.
In case Chris tells a bad joke that gets us into trouble or something. It's one of those you got to read it. We apologize for anything, whatever. But we haven't had to use it yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, 13 years we haven't had to use it. We got close last week though.
Yeah, you were trying to set me up for. Yeah, it's a bad nightclub act after the show, but we're on the air. We have to kind of keep it fun, and that's the business is fun at the end of the day.
It really is. Let's take a quick look, Chris, back at preseason 1, man. Like I know the Titans are not much of a team right now, but they have a young quarterback, and I actually thought the Bucs looked really good, especially on the offensive line. So if we're taking some quick takeaways from the Bucs preseason, what was it, 7-29 victory against the Titans last week?
Yeah, it looked like a low scoring, and then it kind of at the end there, the debatable interception return, but it was a great effort. So give it to Roman Perotti.
Some people cared about that final score line.
I think so. They preseason football, they've added interest. But and you see things, and that's what I like, Ronnie. You see 3 or 4 things on one play that we don't see, and you got to point out the one to the audience that we have, or the replay, the thing that you think is most important. But I worry about personalities, numbers, stats, all those kinds of things that we have to do to help to work with you as an analyst in the booth. But I got to tell you, for the Bucs, what impressed me was the offensive line. And we mentioned that, when they're healthy, they're one of the best in the league. You think of the Eagles, the Lions, and they're right up there. And that average per carry last year, which was record setting.
Yes, it was.
After the year before, remember the run game was so
pathetic. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but it was bad. It was kind of an afterthought.
And they didn't. It's not like they added Saquon Barkley, we thought, but they added Bucky Irving with Rachaad White, and how they made it work with the great passing game and receivers. Even with Mike Evans missing some time, he put up his numbers. But the offensive line, the backups, or the people that played in that position for the preseason, it really moved the ball. I know the Titans didn't have a lot of their starters in, but that was impressive. So that helped the running game with Sean Murphy later on, right? So that jumped out. And I guess Kyle Trask, it seems like he's there. He doesn't have to play a lot in the regular season, and that's a good thing because that means Baker Mayfield is healthy. But I not only did I like how he played in the time he was in there. But I liked in the interview and the broadcast that Eileen Notchuk did with him. He would seem a lot more confident. He also seemed relaxed. He seemed comfortable. Like, even though I'm being challenged with Teddy Bridgewater, whatever, I'm here long enough. I'll be okay. And then, Josh Broussard, I hate to get into technicalities. We did in the game with the new offensive coordinator, but you and I talked to him before the game. It was the first time I really talked to him, even though he was on the Bucs team the year before. And he was laid back. He was calm for someone who's calling plays for the first time in an NFL game. And then he has I thought he called a good game. I know you did too. And then after, we saw him in the parking lot and spent a little more time with him. And his intensity popped up a little bit. Like, there was a guy out of position. It was a call I could have made here that was like, and this was for a preseason game for him. So that I liked that. I thought that range of you got to be calm, but you also got to be tough in that role. And that's been a great position for the Bucs with the talent they have. So to me, overall, and I usually leave the defense to you a lot, and Nick Jones having the sack and the pick.
Nick Jackson.
Nick Jackson.
Yes.
The way Jackson, the way he had that one-handed grab was like deceiving to the eye, to the human eye, and he's a linebacker from Iowa, free agent. That's another thing. Just like Sean Tucker, the free agents that they get along with the draft picks. Tampa's all. That's why preseasons are fun with this team, or at least more entertaining, maybe the most, because they really have a chance to stick and produce. So overall, that's a lot jumped out, and the crowd was into it, even despite a little rain before.
Little rain. I actually was surprised how many people were in the stands. And, as you just sat there and listened to Chris talk, you could see how prepared play-by-play guys have to be. They know everything about everybody. It always amazes me because, obviously I just sit back and analyze and look at plays, and I do my write-up of all the players. But to be able to talk for that long, that's a gift, man. It's to me, it's not easy to do. I always think, could I be a play-by-play guy? And then I sit in a booth next to Chris, and I'm like, there's no way I can be a play. No, there's no way.
Well, you got it. And there's some there's a lot of good ones out there, as fans know. But the other thing too is with so many different sports, the pronunciations, right? That's really, you got it. And things they may look one way, and then you ask somebody. And like Bazelak, the quarterback who played,
the backup.
We had to ask him. He got in the game late, and I know, but we had to ask him, and he said, "Well, because Bazelak, I heard we went back, checked college tape, whatever, just like the scouts." And he said, "Well, they've been mispronouncing it for years. Bazelak, it's like 2 syllables." And I'm like, okay, but you can't always get to everybody to ask him. But then I always write things out phonetically too, because if there's audio or I'm distracted and I call the name and it's not a familiar name, then naturally you want to make sure that's important to the person's family, to those people watching. But anyway, that's all part of, people, hey, we show up, we call a game, that looks fun, but there's a lot of work involved, but it's good work because you like what you're doing.
Absolutely.
There are some tough names on some that are, once you get it, like Servassier Dennis, that's a fun name to say, by the way. That's a great one.
Right. Yes, and there are great names through history. Even Kalijah Canty could be. Now, once you see it, but when you first hear it, if you had to spell it, it might not. I used to write out when he first came out. Shaquille O'Neal was like SHA-KEEL. Just so I wouldn't say Shaquille, I didn't want to ruin it.
Right. Yaya Diaby. Right. What a name.
Well, even Emeka. Abuka.
Yes, Emeka Abuka. You had to help me with that.
It's like, what? What am I supposed to say there?
Do the Bucs have the roster of best names in football? Maybe they do. Even Kokeeft. It's just a great one. The alliteration there.
There's some good ones.
I don't know. Tennessee's roster this week was
there were some
challenging.
Yes. Thank goodness some of the players that we did haven't emerged yet,
right?
Because their last names and first names, it was like alphabet soup scrambled up, and
right.
It was crazy. But the Bucs do have. I like Bucky Irving's a great nickname. Do we use his first name? Is that really? I should know that.
I'll find out here for you.
I know that's a nickname.
I think it is.
I forgot his first name because we did say that to him already. Right away, he all of a sudden got serious. It was like,
it is Marquise Bucky Irving.
Right. There you go.
That's funny when you look up his scouting profile, which I just did.
Right.
It doesn't say Marquise. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they hide it.
They hide it pretty well.
Right. I don't blame them, though.
Chris, what were your first impressions of Cam Ward? Obviously, we get the benefit of getting the number 1 pick of the draft's first game. I was somewhat impressed. Obviously, his first drive was 3 and out. He looked a little lost and scrambled or whatever. His second drive goes right down the field, 75 yards. and a touchdown. Cam Ward is. I think this team's going to struggle. I think Tennessee is going to be a tough team to watch this year. However, I do think they have the right quarterback. I just wanted to know if you get just your opinions of him and just the one really half of football that we got to see him play.
Yeah, and he connected well with Calvin Ridley. You made the point. I mean, they brought in veteran receivers. We didn't get to see all of them because of the situation and the defense he was going against. Obviously, just like the talked about, were players that were not established starters for Tampa. But yes, I did like his poise. And when we talked to a number of the people, I didn't talk to him personally, but people involved with the Tennessee Titans, they said that he wouldn't necessarily coming out of college, when the draft started, when they knew they had the first pick, their top guy. But the more of the process, the more they were around him, the more they liked him personally, and then saw the physical skills, which the numbers he put up. And again, he started in a number of different. He finished at Miami,
right?
But guys with a lot of experience in college, with a number of starts, whether it's I think 30s that went always the magic number that they say, even judging a pro quarterback, even though they don't get that opportunity. He's had quite a few of those. So yes, I was impressed. I got to call quite a few of Jaden Daniels' games his rookie year, in fact, the second game of his career. And he was and also meeting with him personally. C.J. Stroud, I called his first game. Bryce Young, his first game in the NFL in the regular season. And I got to tell you, you couldn't tell with Bryce Young because and people were ready to bury the guy. But then the coaching changed. Then the following year, I called his games. He was like a whole new guy. So we have to be a little careful, being quick to judge. But yes, my impressions were his mobility, his grasp of at least what they wanted to do offensively, and what we hear from the team commanding the huddle, showing the leadership that's genuine. I think that stands out because last year you saw rookie quarterbacks like Bo Nix is another one who broke through right away. But the coaching and the players around them, they had it. And I don't know if Tennessee has. We don't know yet, but you know the talent. You judge it around them.
Right.
They have ways to go before I think they get to that level where so hopefully he will be able to show his skills and mentally not get beat up in the process.
Right. The one thing that stands out to me is his poise. I mean, even in practice, because they practice with them.
You saw that. Yeah,
he's so poised. All right, real quick, Chris, before we let you go, because I know you can talk. You be on us for all day.
Yeah, right. I got to give JB's got to earn his money here.
Yeah, right. A couple of quick hitters. All right. First of all, how would you call a 70-yard field goal? Like, what would the call be? I know, I'm pretty sure you'd say, wow, that deserves a wow.
Wow. And that's
see what
that's
I did there? You see what I did?
Wow.
You see what I did?
Yes, that was nice. We plugged the book. You got the job, Ronda. You're already in. It's good. Thank you. No, well, that's where that expression comes from. That deserves a wow. But the kicker, I think, when you call a game, you don't think, hey, before, just like Al Michaels, when I asked him, he didn't plan to say, it's the whatever his famous line. It comes out naturally. I mean, you have some thoughts about how to react at moments, but of course something like that you don't really expect it. So that's why a lot of our reactions are like, wow. I mean, and your voice gets a little higher and you almost scream because even though you still have a microphone and you're still in the booth, people can hear you. Right. But when you jumped when we saw Parrish almost grab a pick, I think early in the preseason. So our human reaction. So I don't know how I would react. Honestly, I don't sit around and say I'm going to plan to call this if McLaughlin hits a 60-yarder or whatever. But I think that is kind of the appropriate what we heard on the call, and I forget who called it for. I've heard a couple of different versions, Jacksonville radio and the TV. But I think there would be a wow in there somewhere at some point once I caught my breath. But it would be noisy. It would be energetic, like it should be, like a fan. This is where we get to slide out of the professional
let the crowd do the work for you, right?
And that could be the other thing. If he makes this, if they're a home team and are sold out, listen to the crowd. They'll tell you if he made it, and then boom, and they'll hear the crowd. Whatever. Some of that, you got to feel that. But yeah, that was a cool moment. 70 yards.
All right, so here we go. Next question for me. All right, you're one of the guys that has been doing this long enough where you actually called games that Deion Sanders played in. Okay, what is it going to be like when you get a Cleveland game and Shedeur is playing? How would you approach Shedeur? And actually, how do you think he's going to do? I mean, he had a great debut the other night, right?
I saw it in
Carolina.
The numbers.
So I just want your take on how you're going to call Shedeur Sanders' game if he's playing. I'm interested.
And Shiloh Sanders had which you highlighted in the Bucs preseason game. It was nice to see him make a big play. Let's get in the face of the quarterback of Tennessee. would have to. Dion could be difficult, could be fun when I was around him as a player and have been around him afterwards. So, and look, Shedeur is not his father, and Shiloh is not his father, and he's not like Shedeur. They're different people, even though they're in the same family. So that would be my first thing. I mean, you and Tiki may be twins, but you're not the same guys. If you talk to you, right? Sometimes you have different approaches. So even though we might, it's like if I interview you one day and him the next, no, I have to treat you differently. And of course, you bring up the connection. But to your original question, that's a tough one because I haven't sat, and we get those production meetings, Ronnie, and with a team like there in Tampa, you're around them a lot. Which is why you're so connected. But when we do the national games, we get those production meetings where we're sitting in a meeting room without a camera, and we're the only ones who have access to the coach and player, and they're very casual. There's just a few of us there, and so you really get to know a guy as much as you can in 10 minutes or 15 sometimes, and their body language and how confident they are. C.J. Stroud right away had it. Bryce Young, you weren't sure, at least, and then they play out on the field, and you see how it happens. So Jane Daniels saw it right away. Also had that magnetism of. He was cocky, but he was genuine, but he wasn't over the top. Fool, his teammates loved him. So I don't know. That would be one thing. But I would try to be fair and judge just in that moment, despite all of what I heard. And then if he does well, I'm not going to beat up the people who didn't draft it, but you might point out, well, hey, he's showing or he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Those kinds of things, I think, to connect with people. But my big thing is, if you can bring out some personality in a guy on a broadcast that you know of, not rumors or what other people say, and then let the analyst judge his physical skill. And boy, he's got a great arm. Boy, he's really adjusted instead of checkdowns in college, which he threw a lot of apparently. He's throwing it downfield. So I would try to be fair. That would be the thing. But he's also got to do his part when he's doing interviews, when he's dealing with media, and when cameras are on, because he's a bit. If you're a starting quarterback, you're kind of like a CEO of a team, on the field, and you've got a certain responsibility that you have to carry, and that's up to him.
Right. I do agree with that. And for my opinion, just watching some of the game back, he actually played pretty well. He didn't score. He didn't score against their first defense, which wasn't their first defense, but the first defense out there. But he grew into the game and made some pretty nice plays. He still struggles with, trying to extend plays and run some of the things that he struggled with at Colorado. But there were some highlight moments in there that, man, give you some sense of excitement that maybe he could be something.
Yeah, no, he was exciting in college, and that's why potential. And as a rookie, there's people are going to struggle, but I don't think the physical things were the things that people didn't draft him on, at least and I talked to more than one GM and scouts around the league. It was more other things. It was attitude in meetings and that type of stuff that Jason Light just this week, great article, Dan Pompeo, I think Chicago or The Athletic, about Jason Light, and they want to draft guys that like football, that are into football, they're not me guys. They're not, you can't be a me guy on a team. And so, if you're going to invest in a leader of your team, so that's what I heard from other people. How true that is, he may prove them wrong. Players have done that.
All right, last question for you. We had this debate a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago on our show, whether or not Tom Brady should be in our Ring of Honor here in Tampa. And last week, they erected in New England an enormous and very purposeful statue of Tom Brady. I want your opinions. So here's the specs. If people don't know this, it's 12 feet tall. Obviously, he's 12. It's got a 17-foot total height with the base. It's got and that's 17 feet tall to indicate the 17 AFC East titles. And then it's got a hexagonal base which is 6, has 6 Super Bowl rings around the bottom of it. It's a very purposeful statue. It's getting mixed reviews because he's got a little bit of a belly, looks kind of out of shape. What do you think about the Brady statue?
I did not know that the purpose of I saw those numbers and I didn't connect them all because I did not know that. But it's not quite the Brady. And by the way, in person, I just saw him at our seminar with the NFL and our rules stuff, and he's looks much better than that. Believe me. So no offense to the statue makers. When he is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with you, I'm sure that the bust will look a lot, and hopefully he won't be wearing those shades. But absolutely, he belongs in the in the Bucs regular. We've talked about the 50-year anniversary when we opened the preseason
Yes,
of the Buccaneers, the franchise and what they've been through. And I remember a kid in Florida, the creamsicles and the struggles and where they've come. So that's why to be 2-0 in a Super Bowl and have the greatest 5-year run in their history, it's been good. And we talked about greatest, Buccaneer, the 50 players, greatest 50 of all time, and the list. And we had Ira Kaufman in there, and it was a lot of fun. So and obviously he's got to be in there. I do lean on as a sports fan. The Derek Jeters, the Rondé Barbers, the guys, Derek Brooks, who their entire career was with one team, and it's hard to find anymore. And in the NFL, used to be automatic when you think of that, like a John Elway or something like that. So. Even Dion bounced around, right?
Yeah,
Cowboys,
exactly.
49ers, great success. So you go. I mean, you can't blame players for that if they have opportunities. But yes, I would say that Tom, what he did in that time, and you got to look. You remember where the Bucs were at the quarterback position before that, and no disrespect to those that played it, but to get them not only the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and keep the winning streak going of going to the postseason. You might say, well, is he nudging somebody else out? Well, let's do the guys, the loyalists who've been there their entire careers in the Ring of Honor. But that's up to the Bucs, and they'll make that decision, and I think they'll make the right one at some point. Absolutely,
I love it.
I think he belongs.
I love how you hedged that at the end, Chris. You could talk all day. I love you for being on this show, man, and getting up early. I know it's in Southern California, and you're probably going to go right back to bed after this. So thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You guys have fun, Rondé. I'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Yep, see you in Pittsburgh.
With the Bucs and Steelers. All right, JB, good talking to you.
Great talking to you as well, Chris. Thanks for joining the show, man. And man, getting up early.
Yes.
Getting up early with Chris Myers. My goodness. Now statues when it comes to the Bucs, right? So when it comes to statues, I mean, there's the one downtown of Leroy Selman in downtown.
There's one in one Buck Place.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So, and that's of who?
It's a Super Bowl team. So it's It's Derek. It's John. It's John Gruden. It's Brad. It's Shelton Quarles. It's Mike Allstott, myself, and Warren Sapp. And it's just a big kind of like a moment of glory type statue. We're all celebrating, helmets off, doing stuff. It's not like Tom Brady's statue.
Right. It's not with a triumphant fist.
Right.
Looks like something out of a war movie. Like he's just walking off the battlefield.
Chris is fantastic. God,
really
I could
is.
listen to him talk all day.
My goodness.
And
Chris,
by the way, I do.
you do?
Listen
Quite
to him
literally
talk all
on
day.
WFLA News Channel 8, your official Bucs station. Yeah, you're going to catch Rondé and Chris in the upcoming WFLA preseason games for the Bucs on News Channel 8. Don't go anywhere. The Rondé Barber Show will be back right after this.
You're watching The Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service. And by Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, here's NFL Hall of Famer Rondé Barber. And a man who couldn't even cut it as a water boy, JB Buno.
God, JB. You know what? I know there's somebody in this world that would hire you as a water boy, but then he'd fight with you about how much he's going to pay you. And that guy is Jerry Jones.
Oh, Jerry Jones. Can we talk about Jerry Jones?
All right, you know what? I've been wanting to talk about this because it's dominating the news story, the sports headlines right now.
Uh-huh.
So what if you had an owner that was always in the news cycle? I mean, I guess we're fortunate. I mean, we hear from our owners, at important times when Simeon Rice is going into the Ring of Honor, or when, some monumental thing is happening with Women's of Red and Darcy Glazer's out there talking. Jerry Jones, and this is partially the media's fault, I think, because I don't know that any other owner is constantly being asked and berated with these types of questions about player contracts or whatever. Now, that being said, I think the guy is a very willing participant in his own controversy, if you will.
It's the Jerry Jones reality show, and we're all just living in it, man. We're all just spectators, part of his reality that he's created around the Cowboys. No?
I am not disparaging what he does, because to be honest with you, he said this the other day. He says, we are a soap opera 24/7. And so you take a step back and you're like, what is he actually saying? Well, I think he's saying that he legitimately wants this nonsense. He wants it. He absolutely wants to keep.
He likes the noise.
He wants to keep the boys relevant, right? They haven't won anything significant since '95 season, right? Super Bowl 30 when they beat the Steelers. So I actually had to look this up. I was like, let me go back and look and see what the Cowboys have done in the past couple of years. Here we go. 2007, they went 13-3, dominated the regular season, lost in the playoffs. 2016, number 1 seed, lost in the playoffs early. 24, they missed the playoffs. 23, division champs, wild card exit. 22, division champs, won the wild card game, and then lost the next week. 2021, they went 12-5, division champs, and lost in the wild card. So, like, when you can't play well and win championships like they've been were expected to when I was growing up, like when you're in the 80s and 90s, like all you expected was the Cowboys to win, and now they can't win. So all he does now is keep them in the news cycle with these type of contract disputes. So I say this because we're going to get in this segment talking about some of the disputed contracts that are out there. And there's 3 that I think the main ones, Micah, obviously, Terry McLaurin, and then Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. And Trey Hendrickson one is unique because Trey Hendrickson's a heck of a football player, and they just don't want to pay him in Cincinnati. But Jerry did this with Zeke, if I recall, right? Back when he was in a contract dispute. He definitely did it with CD a couple of years ago, and he did it with Dak a couple of years ago. So all of this talk is just par for the course for him.
You know what's a little different now, though? A little bit different. For the first time in what feels like a long time, I can look at a football fan dead in the eye and say that the Cowboys are the 3rd best team in the NFC East.
Yeah. That's fair.
You can actually say that now. I mean, because the Eagles, obviously winning the Super Bowl, the Eagles have been, contenders for several seasons now. And then out of nowhere, with Jaden Daniels now, the Commanders are a legitimate NFC threat. So are the Cowboys the 3rd best team in this division at present?
Well, those first 2 you mentioned were in the NFC Championship game. So yes, they can't be 1 and 2.
Right, exactly. So
1 or 2.
And here's another thing I think that's getting somewhat lost in the Micah Parsons conversation. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because I hear all of this about Micah Parsons, his trade request, obviously, the stalemate that is now playing out in this very public soap opera in Cowboys land. But the thing that's lost on me is this is the captain of your defense. Now you have to look at the captain of your offense. Is Dak Prescott an overpay? Because if that's an overpay, is Jerry Jones thinking, my God, fool me once? Because I know you got to pay your stars, especially when you are the owner of a team like the Cowboys. But Jerry's got to be thinking at some point, man, I can't just pay every single solitary superstar on my team to the level
top market, right?
Top market value.
I would answer that question by saying Dak's contract, like every contract, is a reflection of the market. Like we've gotten to the point, in especially this sport, probably every sport, to be honest with you, where the next contract is the highest paid contract. Which I don't agree with. I think it's ridiculous to because there are tiers. I mean, actually, the quarterback tiers just came out. Dak's not in tier 1. Right? Like he's in tier 2, and he's obviously coming off of an injury. So who the heck knows where he really is? That was a reflection of the market. Micah Parsons is the best edge player in the NFL. I mean, you can say T.J. Watt, you can say Myles Garrett, who I obviously have an argument, but Micah Parsons does things that those dudes are not capable of. And he has a different twitch and a different type of capability than those 2 other players. I just think that Jerry is relishing messing with everybody's emotions. He's going to pay this dude. They probably already have a deal in place, to be honest with you.
So that's a hot take. That Jerry is just loving every second of this, right? And welcome to the barbecue where Rondé goes scorched earth. I mean, and like, it's fun to go scorched earth on the Cowboys, but like, are you sick of them? Are we sick of this?
I am a little bit sick of it because we know for a fact this dude is going to get paid, right? There's no way they would not pay Micah Parsons what he is worth. And I don't know what that looks like. There's tons of ways that you can structure a contract to make him the highest paid guy or whatever. But the reality is, if you're asking me, I think he's messing with everybody. I think they already have a contract in place. Drama sells. He'll be signed before before next week, before the last preseason game. And you know why they'll sign before then? Because they truly don't want him to be a distraction once the regular season starts. They're gonna pay him. Do they have cap problems? Yes, they got cap problems. They just paid CD and Dak. But the reality is they have enough money, and then Dak keeps moving money out in the signing bonus that gives cap room to the current year. They can pay Micah Parsons.
So you think there's literally this wink thing going on?
I think it's a wink right now.
So Jerry
he's fine not getting preseason reps right now, which he wouldn't be getting anyways.
So they're hanging out in Jerry Jones' big suite, kicking back with a couple of beers and just laughing at the world, thinking they think that we're not getting along.
They think we hate each other right now.
Right, exactly. But
I'm asking for a trade right now. JB, I need a trade right now. You need to give me more money. I'm out. Come on, JB.
The people on the fourth floor. We got to keep Rondé around. Look, the Micah Parsons thing is it fascinating, or is it just is it inevitable that they just announce a deal and everything's kumbaya in Cowboy land?
To me, it's inevitable. I think this is a big play on everybody's emotions. Look, there's plenty of ways to structure a contract with him to make him, whatever you want to give him guaranteed to make him the highest paid guy. And to be honest with you, you talk to cap guys, the numbers that get reported and the numbers that actually are, it's all about perception. Like it's perception versus reality. And I think everybody in Micah's camp just wants the perception because he's gonna be a Cowboy. Let's be serious.
Okay, now time out.
He's not going anywhere.
Time out. It's my job to ask. People are like, what is JB doing on the Rondé Barber Show? It's the Rondé Barber Show. It's my job to ask Rondé interesting questions. Mm-hmm. And even though this one might live in fantasy land, I have to ask this question. And I'm going to ask this question 3 times because, yes, to Rondé's point, we're talking about the contract disputes now for Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, and Terry McLaurin. So I'm going to ask this question to Rondé.
Yes.
Is there any scenario, any way, shape, or form where Micah is traded, and of all teams he gets traded to, he is traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
No chance. No chance. Because then we'd have to pay him. Right. We'd have to pay. Now,
can we just live in fantasy land for a second? Because that would be pretty sweet.
You know what? You know why it wouldn't work? He's too young. He's on the what is he on the? He's still on his rookie contract, right? They have the 5th-year option, which gives Dallas control through 2026, technically, right? But he's still young. You can't trade for this guy. You got it. You're committing yourself to money, so much money down the road.
Yeah.
Now, the guy you could trade for, Jason Light, Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he's 30 years old. I'd be okay looking at this dude saying he'd be great in a different color orange, a lighter orange that we wear a couple times a year.
A creamsicle orange.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And pewter and red every other Sunday. Yes. Trey Hendrickson's deal. Now this one's to me is the craziest one because he signed with the Bengals in 2021. He's been to 4 straight Pro Bowls. He's got 57 sacks, including an NFL best 17 and a half last year. And he's only making $21 million. Now you say $21 million is a lot of money. I think the top of the market is at least 10 million more than that. Rhett, you can confirm that for me. Yeah, maybe over 40, right? He's the 13th highest paid defensive end or edge guy in the NFL. I don't know what Cincinnati's doing right now. They need to pay this man. And if he doesn't, he should get traded. Yes, that's right. TJ Watt makes $41 million. Thanks to you for confirming that. So $20 million more on average per year for a guy who had less sacks than Trey Hendrickson did last year. Now, he has an argument. Now, the 30-year-old thing is where people are probably hedging.
Right.
But, look, dude, Cam Hayward for the Steelers is 36 years old and just had an all-pro year and is looking, Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan in the face and saying, hey, dude, I need to be the highest paid, at least one of the highest paid defensive tackles in football, or I'm not playing. We get to talk about that this weekend when we go up to Pittsburgh for the preseason game on WFLA. Make sure you pay attention. We'll be talking about that. But Trey Hendrickson, I absolutely think needs to get paid or traded, and I would not hate if he maybe came to Tampa.
Okay, so I wonder.
We don't have the money.
I mean,
we don't have the money.
Right.
I'm pie in the sky right now. Wishful thinking because I know we need edge players badly.
And to be fair, if Jason Light were on the show, and by the way, he's been on the show. He was on the very first Rondé Barber show right before the NFL draft. Because we got the hookups. Or no, I'm sorry, Rondé's got the hookups. Jason Light, if
you got the hookups with me though.
Man, I got the hookups with you, and then you got the hookups with everybody else who's just got Rondé on speed dial. But if Jason Light were on the show, I think he would be like, "Hey guys, I got Hassan Reddick." Yes. I mean, can I get a little credit here? I mean, you want Trey Hendrickson too? And then, of course, us as Bucs fans, we're like, we want.
I mean, I like Yaya's got a great pressure rate and like quarterback hit rate, but he's got 4.5 sacks. Like the number one drive killing stat in the NFL is sacks. Mm-hmm. Like the number of drives that have a sack attached to it. That end up in scoring, I think it's in the teens that turn into points. Sacks are so impactful. Obviously, turnovers are number one, takeaways are number one on defense, but sacks are so impactful, and we just haven't been there in the past couple of years. Obviously, I agree with you. I think Hassan Reddick is going to be an enormous addition to our edge pressure. He's just too athletic to not be. I think he's put last year's ordeals with the Jets behind him, and he is gung-ho. 1-year deal, ready to perform. The last guy that we had a 1-year deal as edge player that had a prove-it deal was Simeon Rice. And Simeon balled out and got paid, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Hassan Reddick this year. All right, last one.
So hold on. Let's recap, though, because the portion, this is the segment of the show that we call, it's called Dr. Rondé, where Rondé fixes problems for us. So, Red, I'm going to ask you to go back to Micah Parsons for a second. We're gonna do this the right way. So, Dr. Rondé, Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys, your prediction on this situation is?
He's signed in probably 8 days. And
8 days.
8 days. Highest paid defensive end edge player in NFL history. And I don't know what the real numbers will be, but it'll look more than the 41 per year that TJ Watt's getting.
Ooh. Maybe it's always like $1 more, right? They always just do it just to get right above.
Micah is in the doctor's office right now getting, whatever ails him, shots, pills, whatever, yada, yada, yada. He's going to walk out feeling like a new man here really soon.
Dr. Rondé is in. All right, so Micah Parsons stays with Dallas, according to Dr. Rondé. Dr. Rondé, so Trey Hendrickson, the Cincinnati Bengals, your prediction on this contract
They
dispute.
don't pay anybody. It's a struggle.
I mean, they paid Jamar Chase.
Hold on. So they paid Burrow, they paid Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins.
That's right.
Which means this team that is reticent to dole out money anyways is not going to do it for a 30-year-old defensive end. He's going to get traded somewhere. And that's my take.
The Bucs are no. I mean, that would be really cool. Let's if it's not the Bucs, let's keep him out of the NFC South because that's just
better not go to Carolina. Yeah, like it would be useless to go to the Saints. He's not doing that. And Atlanta just drafted two edge rushers. He's probably not. So we're safe. The NFC South is safe.
I would very much hope so. But this one actually is to me fascinating. I'm curious how this one shakes out. But yeah, let's bring in the third one because the third one is with a team that's near and dear to your heart.
Yes,
the Washington Commanders.
Absolutely. This one's paining me because I you know this, JB. I'm a secret undercover.
It's not so
enormous Washington fan. Just can't help myself.
And they are relevant.
They're so relevant.
So
long since they've been really. Although they did almost beat the Bucs our Super Bowl year with Tom Brady, which was crazy. Yeah. But yes, they are back to relevant. Obviously the most exciting rookie quarterback we've seen in a long, long time in Jaden Daniels last year, and Terry McLaurin is paramount. Yes, they have Deebo Samuel, but Terry McLaurin is the reason why this team succeeds. He is like sneaky one of the top, to me, 10 receivers in football, right? The problem with Terry right now is that he, like Trey, is nearly 30 years old, And he signed a contract a couple of years ago, and it's been like light speeded past by like the DK money, the Chase and Higgins money that just got signed. And he wants to be appropriately compensated. And to me, he should be appropriately compensated. And Washington is not, they're not dumb. They absolutely understand that this guy is essential to Jaden Daniels' development. He's been a loyal, soldier, if you will, to this franchise, and all he does is go out and perform. So I don't see any reason why Adam Peters doesn't get this deal done. He's holding in, so he's there. He's not like he's holding out. He's not like he's not around. He's holding in. I bet you this deal gets done sooner rather than
I'm
later.
trying to, because now you point to the Cowboys. All right, look, you paid Dak, and you paid. You paid CD, right? And you've paid your guys. With the Bengals, you've paid Jamar Chase, you've paid T. Higgins, you've paid Joe Burrow.
Right.
With the Commanders, who is the top earner on their roster?
Not only that, they have a rookie quarterback. They're not paying the quarterback.
They're on a rookie deal for the QB.
They're not paying the quarterback. That's the only. You start there. Just start there.
Yep.
You're not paying a quarterback $60 million when Jaden gets his comeuppance. It's going to be probably 65 or 70 at that point, right? You're not paying that right now. There's nobody else that is holding up their dollars. I think the holdup is how do you evaluate what you pay him because he's almost 30 years old. That's where they're stuck. Like, how much do we pay a guy that's going to – because 30 years old in wide receiver terms is like the line of demarcation. It's like when GMs and personnel people say, he's probably had the better of his years. If you're going to pay him, you're not going to give him top money. The last guy that got top money at 30 was Cooper Kupp. And the Rams ended up wanting out of that deal 2 years later. Not because Cooper Kupp necessarily fell off, because he got to be 30, 31, 32. He was injured, and now he's no longer in the Rams on a deal that he signed that he had 3 years left on. He's in Seattle now. So it's always like a tough conversation to have at 30 with the wide receiver. But I still think this deal gets done.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here in just a second to get your prediction on this, but just to finish up that note, Washington Commanders, their top 3 contracts right now, they really don't have those massive money deals, but it's believe it or not, it's Laramie Tunsil. Obviously, one of the solid tackles in the league, right?
Yep.
Deron Payne, and then would you believe it or not, Marshawn Lattimore is one of the top contracts.
Yeah, just trade, right, because they trade for him last year from New Orleans.
So, Scary Terry. Look, what your prediction is? What
that this deal gets done. They sign him just below the number of DK, Higgins, and there's, he's not getting anywhere near Chase money.
And I'm not even going to ask you the most ridiculous question if he could end up on the Bucs, because let's face it, the wide receiver room they've run out of chairs in the wide receiver room with the Bucs.
Hey, dude, we got Ryan Miller. Did you see Ryan Miller playing a preseason last week?
Amen.
We're good, dude.
Amen. Where's the hold on, that's the wrong. I got so excited. I got so excited to hit the wrong button.
That was a lot of me.
All right. Applause button for Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Because it's Miller time again.
Yes.
And
I love
can we bring that back? Can we bring back Miller time?
I love Ryan Miller. Different Miller, not Scotty Miller. Ryan Miller. I thought he was a stud last week. Got knocked out, came back in the game. Not knocked out. I kid. He got evaluated for concussion, came back in the game. Dude was awesome.
Really quick, because we have another 60 seconds in this block before we get to your Ask Rondé questions. You're going to Pittsburgh. You're flying out today.
Yes, I am.
Heading to go see Steelers Bucs in Pittsburgh. You're going to go see Aaron Rodgers. Your expectations, real quick, are
of Aaron. Honestly, I don't think he's going to play in this game. But my expectations for the team, I think a year removed from the injury, he's going to be better, and he has a great. He doesn't have George Pickens to throw to anymore. He has DK Metcalf, right? And yes,
can he get the ball down the field?
Yes, his arm is still live. He's still got a live arm. Okay. But let's be honest. He's going into a system that's not going to ask him to do what Aaron Rodgers has always done. Arthur Smith's offense is run oriented. It's going to be a ton of play action, and we're going to find out if he still has any movement skills, which he did not really showcase last year because of that Achilles. I think he's more closer now to where he was before the injury than he was last year, which he was terrible.
Because drama always follows Aaron Rodgers, here's what I envision, okay? It's going to be week 1 against the Jets. He's going to have a Hail Mary situation at let's say the end of the second quarter or something ridiculous like that. And DK Metcalf with his vertical is going to be down there somewhere, and it's going to be up to Aaron Rodgers to air out a Hail Mary to give his basketball player-esque wide receiver and DK Metcalf a chance to jump up and grab the ball in the end zone.
I feel like he's done that already. Hasn't he done that in the NFL already?
Can he do it at this age?
At this age. 41 years old.
Ooh, Rondé Barber Show will be back after this.
It's time for you to Ask Rondé, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen.
Oh, man, it's your favorite part of the show because it's time for you to be on the show. Ask Rondé is the segment where you can send in your selfie video questions to AskRondé.com. Rhett, can we bring in the carousel? Let's get the carousel over ahead of time this week because,
come on, Brett,
draw.
Do something other than play on your computer.
We're going to draw the name here out of the carousel. And after, of course, we play the question for the winner this week will get a piece of Rondé Barber signed merch, the swag. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now it's got some breath in there, too.
Yeah,
some Hall of Fame breath is in the carousel.
Coffee breath. Which I'm wearing a jacket today, by the way. It's 95 degrees because on my way down here, I spilled coffee on my shirt.
Yeah. Literally, Rondé
I'm like everybody else.
You walked in the stream center, you're like, I spilled coffee on me today.
That's such a good shirt on, too.
Proof that Rondé Barber is human, folks. He can make mistakes, but you know what? You can get some of that Hall of Fame merch that he's signing here. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna pull is is the blue one the merch? I always forget, you guys. Okay, so what is somebody gonna win? Let's not pull the name yet. Let's pull just the prize this week.
Somebody is getting a Hall of Fame hat.
All right, Hall of Fame hat. Whoop, whoop. We'll draw the name, but first let's get to this week's question.
Hey, Rondé, this is Noah. I got a two-part question. So throughout your career, I'm sure you probably swapped jerseys after games with a lot of players. I was wondering, who's your favorite jersey that you swapped with?
That's easy.
And also, from your playing career, Little League to Pro, which one of your jerseys that is yours is your favorite?
Oh, that's a great one. All right, so
go Bucs.
Favorite jersey. I mean, this is not even a question because I played this guy 5 times. Tiki's.
Oh man, that's a heartwarming answer. That's a heartwarming answer.
Sentimental. You know what? To be honest with you,
all the warm and fuzziness.
He's the only person I swap jerseys with. Really? This is a common like a now thing. Back in the day, dude, you didn't swap jerseys, man. You went to a locker room, kept it like you gotta if you swap your jersey, if you give your jersey away, you have to pay for your jersey. Like back in the day, we weren't making $20 million a year, man. Like a jersey, I mean, I'm not giving somebody $100 for my jersey.
But your brother, you swap. But nowadays, it's like a thing. And what's really great when you do jersey swaps is sometimes they catch the awkwardness when somebody like turns down a player.
Yeah, like, I don't want your jersey, man.
Yeah.
You ain't getting my jersey.
Oh man, I promised to somebody else.
My favorite jersey that I played in, well, obviously the Super Bowl one is pretty awesome. I still have that one.
It's framed?
Yeah,
framed?
Yeah, it's still framed. And probably my first Pro Bowl jersey. I have that one framed too. That one's cool.
That's yeah, no. I would imagine you've got some cool merch.
Right.
In your spot. Not even merch. It's like the actual thing.
Yes.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
Let's go to another question. We got an extra, I think, 2, what's the year? Yeah, we got about 2 more minutes.
All right, let's go.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to ask now. Okay.
From
Hi,
the draft
Rondé.
party.
My name is Tiffany Borrego, and I moved to Tampa when I was 7 years old. I've lived here practically my entire life, and this is home for me. If I could ask you any question, it would probably be, what is your favorite cheat meal? If you could only pick one cheat meal, what would it be?
Cheat meal?
Please let me know. Alrighty, you're the best. Go Bucs.
I feel like I say this every time I mean, is eating pizza cheating?
I mean, well,
that's
when
like
you were
a real
a
meal.
player,
Like,
is that cheating? Well, you tell me. Is pizza off the
If pizza's off the cheat meal.
I mean, if you're Vita Vea, you can have pizza, right? I mean, no problems for the most part, right?
Yeah, if you're, if, I was going to mention something, but I'm not going to do it. There's a lot of.
I know. See, I know where you were going to go, and we didn't go there, and I think all Bucs fans know where we were going to go.
You
knew where we were going to go, and we didn't go there.
I'm not going
We're going to keep
there.
it classy on this program.
My cheat meal is a basket of wings and a whole bunch of beer. That's
Oh man. Okay, what flavor wings? Hit me.
like the honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue. You like it a little sweet?
Yes, a little sweet.
Man. All right, see now.
Maybe a shot of Jameson in there too.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Rondé Barber, folks. Look, you have an opportunity to ask him a question and be on the Rondé Barber Show, and we love fun questions like that because now I know, man, we got to go out and get some honey barbecue wings and some beer. Maybe if the night goes on, then we
get some Jameson and get some Ubers to go home.
I hope WFLA isn't listening to this episode at this point. That would be. But it all comes down to the great questions that we get on AskRondé.com, and so now is an opportunity for you to pick the name out of the carousel. And this week's winner is.
I wish I had Chris Myers on the show right now still, so he could help me pronounce this name. All right, I'm gonna make an attempt at this, and if I butcher it, I apologize. Jasoda Hansaraj.
Yeah, how about it? Look, we'll have to ask. Jasoda Hansraj. Yeah, I think
I got that.
I think it was pretty good.
Right.
That was not bad. Rondé picked the name and had this look of terror on his face. like, oh no!
Give me some time here. Keep reading this.
I couldn't have had Tim Smith.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Okay. So one more time. The name was one more time. I'm just going to make you read it as much as I can because it's funny.
Jasoda Hansaraj.
Jasoda, we will be reaching out to you to claim your Buccaneers hat signed by the one and only Rondé Barber, folks. It's really, there's no gimmicks here. You send in a selfie video question to AskRondé.com, and we then write out your name and we add it to the carousel. We actually do that every week. So if you want to be in the carousel and have a chance to win it for free, no gimmicks,
the
no
carousel looks like it's full too. We're getting a lot of submissions, so you better get in here.
Rondé, safe flight to Pittsburgh.
Thanks,
and
guys.
we'll be seeing you and Chris Myers on WFLA News Channel 8.
Absolutely. See you in a couple weeks, boys.
All right, the Rondé Barber Show, getting ready for weekly episodes once the season starts. Little tease, we believe we have a good guest lined up for the next episode, episode 7. We'll see you next time here on the Rondé Barber Show.